these next two awards that we're going to talk about, I think, are the most interesting of the bunch. MVP and Comeback Player of the Year.
Are we going to do comeback?
Let's start off with MVP.
Okay.
Who is your MVP, or who do you think will win the MVP this season?
I got two. So I got one, obviously, was Josh Allen. I think that's my favorite right now, being as if, like I said before, him coming into a new year with the new environment, not with the same environment, but he has that swag. He has that confidence. So now coming in, he feels like he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league. Now he has the weapons to back up his claim. I feel like he's going to put up the numbers. My dark horse is Kyler Murray.
Love that. Love it.
You know,
yeah, he thinks he's top 5 quarterback. So
yeah,
Kyler Murray.
I have to love it.
Yeah, with him being as deadly as he is in the passing game and on his feet. You know, D-Hop. This is year 2 with D-Hop. I just feel like, you know, his game is just like same thing with Josh Allen. He has that confidence. He feels like he's one of the best. He's looking at the vision like, I have to be an MVP in order for us to get not even in the playoffs, but this is going to be a tough division. I got to play at my best, and I feel like his best is going to be an MVP-like season. He was in the conversation last year for like 4 games and then, you know, flopped out. But
This one's kind of tough because there's 3 situations I really like. I'll come to one, but there's 3 right now. We got The Last Dance and Aaron Rodgers. It's definitely possible that he puts himself in that running the way that I'm projecting them to play.
Right.
Tom Brady now in his second year with the Buccaneers, has a full offseason, knows the playbook now, is playing with Antonio Brown that's rumored to be Steelers-type good right now, which you could debate he's the best receiver on the team. Mike Evans, obviously, who's been the definition of consistency, and Chris Godwin, who obviously has established himself as a premier wide receiver in this league. In the backfield, Leonard Fournette, Ronald Jones, obviously at tight end, you have Gronkowski. O.J. Howard's still on the lineup, too. They're just stacked with talent all over. And Brady's going to thrive. And they're saying that Brady, his arm feels as good as ever. So I feel confident that Brady could be an MVP. Now, my guy, Justin Herbert. It's unfortunate that I have to hate him, given the fact that he's in my division. I get to see him 2 times a year, every single year for the next 15 years probably. But I just can't ignore the truth. His arm talent is unlike a lot of quarterbacks in this league. His poise under pressure is one of the best in the league already. His accuracy is amazing. Now you put him with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, who I do think has a good season this year. If not this year, who knows when. But now you bring Austin Eckler into the mix now that he's a solid receiving back, one of the better receiving backs in the league. Jared Cook now gets added. And now they give him a little bit of O-line help. They brought in Rashawn Slater, if I'm not mistaken. They brought in Corey Linsley, who was the best center available in free agency. I believe that his numbers are going to be out of this world. If they were good last year, I only think that they could get better given the fact that now he's going to have more time. So Herbie, it's not out of the realm of possibility that he is the MVP, and I think that that's my guy to win it.
Like you, I have 3 situations I really like. First, I've been saying it the entire offseason and even before the offseason started that I think this year is probably Tom Brady's year to win MVP and become the oldest player in the NFL to win MVP outside of when he did it when he was 40. Tom Brady, to me, when you're in that Bruce Arians offense, every quarterback's first year, they have high turnover numbers. Tom Brady didn't have that. But you look at Carson Palmer when he was with Arizona. His second year in that offense, his second full season, was an MVP candidate. I think Tom Brady's going to thrive this season. He could be MVP. I love Ryan Tannehill and the Titans. I think now that Julio Jones is added onto that roster, they're going to be forced to pass the ball even more. And Ryan Tannehill playing like a top 7 quarterback these past couple of seasons, now throwing the ball more, is going to be in that conversation. My third is Justin Herbert. And Justin Herbert, I think Joe Lombardi and Brandon Staley have built a scheme to fit Justin Herbert's skill set. And you mentioned Austin Eckler. I think the breakout player is going to be Mike Williams.
Okay.
They have said all training camp long that he's going to be the X receiver. And Joe Lombardi is bringing in that same offense from the Saints to the Chargers. And the X receiver with the Saints was Michael Thomas. And we saw Michael Thomas have the most receptions in history playing in that offense. Mike Williams, a similar big-bodied receiver, not as sharp as a route runner, but this guy was supposed to be an all-pro receiver when he was drafted.
For sure.
I think this is the year that Mike Williams thrives, and it is a contract year for him, so perfect timing for him. But I do think Justin Herbert is going to be in that conversation. And if it's not Brady, I think it's Herbert. That's what I'm going with.
Fair enough.
If it's not Brady, it's Herbert.
Didn't you say you had 3? I thought you said you had 3.
It was Ryan Tannehill too.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he's slowly being removed.
So Brady, Herbert, Tannehill.
Brady, Herbert, Tannehill. Yes,
And
that's
then you
correct.
said
I said Rodgers, Brady,
Herbert.
Herbie. But Herbie is my number 1.
Got it.
Talking about surprises, let's talk about which team in the NFL do you think will surprise you, right? You know, every team, there's a team that didn't make the playoffs the previous year and makes it the very next year, or maybe a team that made the playoffs that is finally taking a jump.
I didn't mean to interrupt you. Comeback player of the year. We didn't talk about that.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about that.
I do not have one. I'm just gonna. No.
Okay.
I was trying to think. Trying to work it out.
Mine is Jameis Winston.
Okay.
Is it like somebody who was hurt, or is it just somebody who didn't play well last year? Because if it is, I have one.
Carson Wentz.
That's usually what goes hand in hand. But I think mine, given the fact that I haven't won an offensive player of the year, I got to go with Saquon Barkley. Obviously, coming off a torn ACL, one of the more difficult injuries to come back from outside of a torn Achilles. I'm projecting to have an all-world season, and if he wins Offensive Player of the Year, it's almost 100% positive that he's probably going to win Comeback Player of the Year. We've seen it happen in the past where, you know, obviously Adrian Peterson that's the greatest comeback season I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't know if we'll ever see something like that again. You come 9 yards short of breaking the all-time rushing record after 2 games of mediocrity, which is insane to start the season. But I do believe Saquon could have a very great season following a torn ACL. He's going to be the player that they look towards the most, and now you bring in Galladay to remove some pressure off of him. They're hopefully not going to be stacking 8 every single game because that's what he sees. And now you give him some weapons on the outside. Kadarius Toney, who I'm not a huge fan of, truthfully, but at least it's a weapon. Sterling Shepard doesn't have to see the ones that obviously that he's been seeing over the last couple of years now that Odell's been gone. I think that's going to open up the field for Saquon, and I think that he's primed for this.
Well, yeah, then my guy's Wentz. You know, I feel like with all the expectations, with all the doubts that he received, I think, you know, being as he's linking up with his coach that was with him during that MVP year, you know, new system, new environment. I feel like Indianapolis has the tools needed. They don't, you know, their wide receivers are still a little bit in question. You know, T.Y. is always hurt. Michael Pittman Jr. we still have to see. But their running back core is probably, you could stack them up with one of the best in the league. They have 3 really, really good running backs, and Jonathan Taylor is a star in the making. And that defense is still really good. They're projected, if not to win the division, come in second place. So, you know, this is high expectation. This team was just in the playoffs last year. Phillip Rivers played good last year, so this is a team who's expected to, you know, we want to come in, we want to be a competitive team, a playoff team. So Wentz has a lot riding on it, and he has a lot of expectations, so I got him.